Hi, everybody. This is day 1614 days since Richard was premeditatedly murdered on Fort Bliss. He was a whistleblower and he was reporting criminal trafficking, about child trafficking and weapons trafficking, ammunition trafficking, narcotics trafficking, and um, and then and then the fraud that comes with that, which is tampering with documents like what Bill Hicks has been doing, right? Bill Hicks has been tampering and tampering, so much so that they're calling it a systemic problem. And it's not me saying that. These are judges. This is a district court judge and a judge there in El Paso, um, that is saying there is a systemic problem with Bill Hicks's tampering. Tampering. It's so bad that it's criminal because he is being accused of by them of holding back exculpatory evidence that would make some defendants innocent, right? It would make them innocent if that information got out and he's withholding it. So yeah, his whole career is shot. What is he? He's a tamperer, he's a usurper. Um, he is a schemer to remove a duly elected district attorney. He can't even, he's a timestamp tamperer, right? He's a timestamp tamperer. He's a witness tamperer. And what he has done in our son's case, withholding evidence. Look, y'all, the DOD has declared Richard murdered on Fort Bliss, um, in July 2020, but they came to our door April 24th, 2020, and to give us a declaration of death. And in all of that paperwork and everything, absolutely Richard was murdered on Fort Bliss. And so if he's murdered on Fort Bliss, what is Bill Hicks doing? What is Bill Hicks doing? Where's our son's remains? You don't think he knows where our son's remains is with all of his connections, even with the cartel connections? He has cartel connections, right? They don't know where our son's remains are. They didn't know that Richard was murdered. Of course they knew. Of course they knew. And that implicates them in this whole criminal trafficking, right? Because if they're not participating in it, they're allowing it to happen. They're allowing it to happen with impunity. So, they need to be held accountable. And who else needs to be held accountable? Well, the generals. We know that Clem Coward. Let me tell you this. Let me tell you, this is breaking news. More and more people are coming forward, right? Connecting the dots with Michael Xavier Garrett. He's a four-star general in all of this, and even over the Vanessa Guillen case. So the information that we have that they didn't want another Guillen situation, that absolutely makes sense, right? When it's coming um, in a situation where Richard's Forcecom general, four-star general, was the same general for Vanessa Guillen. And also for Glennon Oakley Jr. and Asia Graham, and there's more, right? So, Michael Xavier Garrett is totally up to no good, which being a four-star general, then there's a big, big problem. And those that are veterans, like, of course, my husband, absolutely sees a huge, huge problem with it. And for a long time now, I've been saying 44 four-star generals are serving foreign and domestic enemies, right? And I got some heat for that, for saying that. Um, and of course, my husband, being a 30-year a long service, understands what kind of implications that means because of the trickle down command, right? All of these commanders and trickling down to Richard. It's just this implicates them. This implicates more than just the general, right? Because they were then following illegal orders. And one of them, we saw it right in front of our faces, the following illegal orders. Um, and with Josh Lyons, well, anyway, let's just say this: we're getting more and more pieces are falling together, um, really showing how, because I keep saying that Michael Xavier Garrett was up to no good, right? Clem Coward was up to no good. Um, um, General McConville, James McConville, was up to no good. Well, how are they up to no good? What are their connections and what exactly were they doing? And that's what we've been putting together for a long time. And, a big part of that is our very first CAO casualty affairs officer. Of course, they signed us a casualty affairs officer. They had to because they absolutely knew that Richard was deceased in July of 2020. They absolutely knew it. And there was a lot of tampering going on, a lot of tampering with Richard's file. We know that through Judge Roger Rodriguez's filings on that. But also because we were there to watch it, to see it, to hear it, that they were tampering with this case. They were tampering so bad with this case, the files, and so many trying to create evidence, right? Trying to create false evidence to misdirect any investigators looking into this case. And so, to get information that it really implicates Michael Garrett is really sad, but there it is. There it is. And there's a lot of following illegal orders, um, or unethical orders, right? So thank you, Danielle, for coming on. And that is connecting with Josh Lyons. Remember Josh Lyons, our CAO, our first one. He was absolutely up to no good. And we caught him. We caught him um, doing his asymmetric warfare tactics to interfere in the investigation of our son, right? Of our son's case. And so, he had to, and it was so obvious, and we sent in the evidence, and, he had to have um, been told to do it because where did he get in trouble, right? Where did he get in trouble for tampering with this investigation to mislead investigators? And absolutely, we caught it. We caught it. We caught the lies and we turned that in. So that is connecting dots with others that were doing the same thing. And it's pretty shocking when all that breaks. It really is shocking to the system. And that's why they don't want this to get out because then, you lose trust in the authorities, you lose trust in the military. They're going to be seen for what they are, which is a criminal cartel, right? A criminal cartel um, uh, in El Paso on Fort Bliss that was acting with impunity at these high levels, uh, and and now all the extra duties that the lower enlisted were getting, I think they might make sense now. And they're like, oh my gosh, that's what that was all about. Because, they might not understand it. They might not have seen everything, but it is definitely, they were up to no good on Fort Bliss, and that's why, um, the word that we were getting was that they're very, very afraid that they're going to be totally shut down by President Trump because it's just really just criminality going on at Fort Bliss at this point. So, yeah, we concur. It needs to be shut down. If you have 325,000 unaccompanied children that are missing, and those are taken children. They're not a count, those are just the unaccompanied. And those are not all the numbers. The numbers are much larger than that. So, and 325,000 is a pretty large number. So this is what's happening on Christmas night. On Christmas night, and we hope everyone had a absolutely wonderful Christmas, and we did. We had a really good Christmas. I got some new earrings from Rob, and and we just of course, we're very yeah, I can't really say, but it was really beautiful. It was really, really beautiful, and we really enjoyed um this Christmas season. But that this night, the 25th, and my understanding is really, well, the Germans celebrate Christmas the 25th and the 26th. There's Christmas Day 1, Christmas Day 2. And they do that in Poland also, the 25th and the 26th. And there's a long reason for that, because of Jesus being born right at that time period, the 25th or the 26th. And so, Christmas is just starting, and then we have the 12 days of Christmas, right? The 12 days of Christmas. And, I think that during Advent time, people start celebrating Christmas. And then when Christmas comes, they want to move on, right? They want to move on. But Advent is very different from Christmas. And when it comes to the celebration, it kind of starts today. So we're just getting started here in the Holiday family for the next 12 days. So you're going to hear a lot of Happy Christmas, Merry Christmas from us. Um, and, but of course, um, there's an empty chair, and that empty chair is Richard's chair. And so we have to continually work to get justice for what happened to Richard, even during happy celebrations. And we're in the middle of like a huge, huge, a huge bit of evidence coming out um, about. I can tell you what it's about. It's about Michael Xavier Garrett and his connections. Okay, I can tell you that, and I can tell you that he's up to no good. Um, so that is really important news because he's connected to so much. To, of course, Richard, which is, of course, a Walmart mass shooting, which, of course, Fort Bliss, absolutely. So, but when we get it all um, verified, then we will absolutely share all that information with you. But I can tell you what I just told you is is yeah, shocking news, shocking news. Um, and of course, that direct connection with Clem Coward and others. Yeah, well, I'll just wait until all of that is confirmed, until um, because when you're talking about this case that is involved, that the cartel is involved in and everything, then it gets, you have to really be careful um, when you're explaining everything to the public about what happened to Richard. So, um, Bill Hicks is absolutely, we're getting word, not happy. He is not a happy camper because his whole career, whole his reputation really has gone downhill very fast. So those are the breaking news. I know it's everybody's celebrating Christmas right now and very busy. And I just wanted to make sure that everyone knew that we loved you. We hope you have a very Merry Christmas. Just get started. Don't forget about the 12 days of Christmas, and that we are working very hard behind the scenes to get our son's remains, that we want our son's remains, and we want those that did this to Richard to be held accountable. And with Trump talking about Panama, talking about Greenland, which we absolutely have opinions on, and also talking about the death penalty for the worst offenders, bringing that back in with a force. We're in agreement. We are big MAGA supporters. We want to make America great again, right? We want to make America great again. So, um, yeah, it's going to be a very just hold on to your hat because to expose $90 billion just in narcotics, it's a lot of money. And then of course the human suffering, the human trafficking, the child trafficking, and then of course um, more. So thank you so much, everyone. God bless you, and